What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am Laughing Coyote, and this is This Week in Cricket. And you like my shirt? Never skip leg day, because if you do, you look like a damn flamingo. Well, okay, you won't look like a flamingo, but you will have like tiny legs like a flamingo, and you know the other rest of your body is gonna be big. So don't do that, because you know. Oh, by the way, I made my bed this time. Pete, you happy now? As if my parents aren't enough yelling at me about making my bed. It only takes like 5 seconds. Well, they're not wrong, but still. Come on, man, give me a break. Anyways, about cricket. So, we'll start off with England versus Ireland. It was a pretty good series for England. Pretty easy. They won in, smashed Ireland the first two games. Like, they absolutely dominated them. I felt a bit bad for Ireland because I like Ireland. Ireland, like I said, it's quite an old team, you know, it's not a new team. And they've got some really good players. And the reason, I guess, why I feel bad for them is whenever they get a good player, they just move to England and they play for England. So Ireland's just never going to be good. Because any good player like Eoin Morgan, guess what happened? England scooped him up. And he was the highest run scorer for England. Paul Sterling was the highest run scorer for Ireland. Also, Camphor was pretty good for Ireland as well. David Willey was pretty good with the ball. But yeah, first two games, England absolutely dominated. David Willey said he was very upset when they dropped him for the World Cup, from the World Cup squad. So, you know, he wanted to prove himself. He wanted to prove that he's good enough to be part of the squad. And he did that well in the first game. At least he got a fifer. And it's pretty good. Adil Rashid was getting poles as well, but you know, he's a wily one. He's a good bowler. I really like him. That last game, though, that third game, was a very spectacular game. I saw that one live. Well, towards the end. I didn't see the whole game. I saw the ending of it when it was like 5 overs remaining. And it was a fantastic finish. It was a thriller. I loved it. Ireland finally won a game. I thought it might be a whitewash because England scored 328, I think it was. Yeah, something like that. Excuse me. And so I was like, yeah, I don't know if they're going to score that much, because if you look at the other games, I think in the first one, Ireland didn't even cross 200. And then in the second one, they just about, it was like 202 or something like that. You know, just about crossed 200. So when England put up 328, I was like, yeah, Ireland is done. Because in the last few games, they haven't even gone over 200, let alone going over 300. But they did it, and it was a fantastic thriller. Last ball, I think it was the last ball, or maybe second last. But it was in the final over that Ireland won. And it was spectacular, and they only lost 3 wickets. It was amazing. It was such a fantastic performance. And nothing against the English. I just like the Irish a lot. I like their accents. I like their ginger hair. I love it on Paul Sterling as well as Eoin Morgan, and pretty much the rest of Ireland. 90% of Ireland is like that. So love that. But yeah, that was England was always going to win that series, but that last game was something that I thoroughly enjoyed. And so congratulations to the Irish fans for getting that amazing victory in the last game, and congratulations to the English fans for getting, you know, the series win. Then we move on to test. First test, England versus Pakistan. Now that was quite a test. It was everything you want a test to be. It had drama, it had proper, you know, classy, patient batting. I'm obviously speaking of Shan Masood. There were a lot of, well, particularly on the Pakistan side, also on the England side, a lot of youngsters who showed up and did something that not even the most experienced did. It started off heavily in the favor of Pakistan. Pakistan won the toss, elected to bat first. I thought that was a very bold choice from Azhar Ali, and I was very, very impressed with that, because going over to England and you know, saying that, all right, we're gonna bat first, because before that we were used to West Indies who just kept bowling first. West Indies, I don't know what it is. I mean, when you look at Peshawar Zalmi, who's captained by Darren Sammy, he's a West Indian as well. every time he wins the toss, every time, it doesn't matter which stadium or where they're playing. When we were in UAE, he fielded first. When we came over to Pakistan, he fielded first. I don't know what it is about the West Indians. They just field first, always. So it was good to see, finally, someone winning a toss in England and saying, you know what, we're going to bat first. And so that showed intent, and I was very impressed with that, and I was actually kind of proud of that as well. Jofra Archer got Abid Ali. That was the first wicket that we lost. And the way he got him, I really like that as well, because I'm a fast bowler myself, and I love that spell from Archer. He kept bowling short, he kept banging him in short, and he kept scaring him with his, he's obviously got a bit of pace. He's averaging about, 88, 89, 90 miles an hour, which is pretty quick, Yeah, it was interesting because he kept banging him short, and then he goes in with a full length, and Abid Ali, because he's on the back foot, he's waiting for the short one. Then boom, he gets his pole, and it was amazing to watch. Brilliant. It was very smart bowling, aggressive bowling, and I like that. And then Azhar Ali, the captain, came out, and he was just going for a duck. Then Babar Azam came out, and then we found a little bit of stability there with Shan Masood playing very patient. That's the innings I was talking about. When you talk about a perfect sort of test innings, a very patient innings, someone who takes their time with it. That was Shan Masood. He opened the batting, and he was pretty much there till the very end. Everybody else got out and he was still there. So, and then he obviously picked up the pace a bit towards the end once, he was batting with the tailenders. Shadab Khan was pretty good, got 45. So yeah, Pakistan had a brilliant start, 156 for Shan Masood. 69? Yeah, 69, yeah. Come on now, how can I forget about the cheeky 69? 69 from Babar Azam, and 45 from Shadab Khan. Yeah, 45 from Shadab Khan. Pakistan is not really known for their batting. We've always been known for our bowling, and so to score 300 plus against England in England, with that Duke ball and those conditions, it's quite impressive. I was very impressed. Here it is, 326 runs. So 326 all out. Yeah, Brody got 3 wickets. Jofra got 3, 2 for Wokes, 1 for Anderson. Anderson was getting a bit frustrated because he was getting way too many outside edges, and they just weren't going to the fielders. And then England came out to bat in the first innings, and quick wickets for Pakistan. Shaheen from one end, Abbas from the other. 3 wickets quickly. Yeah. Okay, so it was 3 wickets quickly. 2 for Abbas, 1 for Shaheen. And then at the end, Yasser Shah gets Root before the day's over. So 4 wickets they lose. They lose Ben Stokes, they lose Root, they lose Sibley, and they lose Burns. They lose pretty much their best batsman. And this is where I said when the youngsters bowled really well. But I mean, the youngsters played really well. So I wasn't just referring to the Pakistani Pacers, but also Ollie Pope, who pretty much was the only one in that English side who put up a fight. He scored 62 runs. I know that because it's right in front of me, but I knew he got a half-ton. And then that delivery from Naseem Shah. Speaking of youngsters, that man is what, 6 months old? I think he's not even born yet. I'm pretty sure he's not born yet. That's how young he is. But Naseem Shah, 17 years old. Bowls around 88, 89 miles on average. Gets the ball to nip around as well. Bowls that... it's such an amazing delivery. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was the perfect delivery. There's not much Pope could have done there. I mean, to be honest, if it was anybody other than Pope, I don't even think they would have gotten a bat to that delivery. That's how good that delivery was. And so they were all out in 219 runs, and Pakistan had a lead of 100 and some runs. It was a little over 100 runs. And so to have over 100 runs lead against England in England, that in itself is an achievement you can brag about. And so I was like, all right, we're in. We've won, right? And pretty much everybody else. I mean, if you look at the win whiz or whatever the hell that thing is called, it shows the percentage of, Pakistan win percentage and England, and it was showing at the end of that first innings, both Pakistan and England, it was showing Pakistan with a 65% or something, or 60 or 65%. So even that win was saying like, all right, Pakistan's got this. And then England, out of nowhere, they showed up. Man, did they show up. Their bowling was spectacular. They picked up quick wickets. They didn't let anyone settle down. I mean, yeah, Pakistan batted really poorly. Sure, yeah. But you can't take that away from the English bowlers. You can't just say Pakistan batted poorly, because the English bowled really well. They bowled spectacularly. And you can also then say Pakistan batted poorly because the highest run scorer was, you guessed it, Yasir Shah. So when your highest run scorer is Yasir Shah, yeah, your team batted poorly. Sure, England bowled well, but also your team was crap because Yasir Shah is your highest run scorer. Pakistan should have a slogan: Pakistan losing easy games since 1947, the day Pakistan came into existence. It's ridiculous the amount of times we have lost games that we should have easily won. It's also ridiculous the amount of times we've won games that we had no business winning. It makes no sense. That's why Pakistan is known as the most unpredictable team in cricket, because one day they'll chase down 400 runs and the next day they won't even chase 100 runs, you know? So this test was a perfect example. Look at that first innings. It was spectacular. And then the second innings, it was like they sent in their under 19 team or something. Because of that 100+ lead, even though they only scored 169 runs in the second innings, they still had a pretty good amount of lead. I was like, yeah, if they score anything less than 300, we're losing this game. Before Pakistan were all out, I was like, Yasir Shah's got to get a 50, because there's no way we're defending anything less than 300. Because like I said, it's that thing, you know, being a Pakistani, you just know you're going to lose. Yeah, then the second innings for England started, and Pakistan started off really well, I'm not going to lie. They started off quite well. Abbas got a wicket, Yasir Shah got wickets. Well, Yasir Shah actually got a lot of wickets. He got 8. He got 4 in the first and 4 in the second, so he was very good. I heard some people talk a little crap about Yasir Shah, how he's not that good, but he really showed up. He was our best bowler, I would say. Abbas, he's a spectacular bowler, by the way. He's amazing to watch. He's got, his pace is around 80. That's about my pace. But the way he bowls, he's amazing. He's so accurate. He's like the new Asif. Do you know what I mean? Mohammad Asif, you remember him? He's like him. He's not got a lot of pace, but he's very accurate. He's got that scrambled seam, ball nipping in and out. He's a fantastic bowler. He's a treat to watch. He just got 1 wicket. Shaheen got a wicket. Naseem Shah got a wicket as well. And then 4 for Yasir Shah. Now, the thing that where we lost the game was, so England loses 5 wicket at 117. Butler and Wokes are on strike. They're batting, right? Then the 6th wicket falls. Guess how many runs they've scored? 256 runs. They're chasing about 270, I think. 270, something like that. 256. Over 100 run partnership between Butler, a man out of form, and Chris Wokes. He has no business batting. He shouldn't have been getting more than 10 runs. He's not a batsman. He's a bowler. So you've got a bowling... Well, he's a bowling all-rounder. I'll give him that. And then you've got Josh Butler, who's been out of form for like the last... I don't know how many... And they just show up out of nowhere. They're like, nah, we're not losing, mate. Nah, it's not going to happen. No, not on my watch. Butler plays like an absolute G. So does Wokes. Goes on to get 84 runs, the highest runs in this. It was amazing. Like, I can't even be mad at that, because that's just amazing. That's just out of this world. That is just fantastic. Unbelievable. You know, sure, I'm disappointed Pakistan lost, but that was quite a game. I enjoyed the crap out of that game. Butler got 75 exactly. Wokes got 84. Both of them over 70 strike rate. Both of them. That is spectacular. You know, that is incredible to get that many runs. in that condition. Remember, this is like the 4th day, so the pitch has got ruined at this point. You're not supposed to get more than 50 runs. That's like the max. But both of them goes on to get over 70 runs at over 70 strike rate. So it was amazing performance from Buttler and Wokes. And Ben Stokes, by the way, he played really poorly in both the innings. And I heard from Michael Holding that he's not fully fit. And so that's why he's being played as a batsman rather than an all-rounder. And he didn't do anything with a bat. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on with him. He seems like one of those players who only shows up when England absolutely needs him. Like when there's no other choice left, like that, he's it. Like if he doesn't do anything, that's it, England's going to lose. Then he'll do it. If England's doing fine without him, then he's just like, yeah, all right, I'll just get out for 4 runs. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's been a couple of games where he plays really well. Obviously, against West Indies, he was spectacular. Why was he spectacular? Because nobody else was doing anything, that's why. And then in the next test, he doesn't do anything. And then we fast forward to the Pakistan series, he doesn't do anything because England need him to do anything. And then the next test, no one's gonna score anything, and then Ben Stokes gonna score 300 runs. I'm telling you, it's just, do you know what I mean? He's like their last resort, like their backup. I don't know what's up with Ben Stokes, but he's a talented player, that's for sure. I think what Pakistan has to do is you've got to drop Shadab. There's no place for Shadab in this team. You've got to bring in someone who is not a bowling all-rounder, but rather a batting all-rounder. Do you know what I mean? Shadab Khan's a bowling all-rounder. I love Shadab. Nothing against Shadab. Instead, he doesn't really fit in this team. You want 2 spinners, I get that. Fine. Bring in another spinner, Fawad Alam. He can spin. But he's a better batsman than Shadab Khan. He's not a better bowler. Oh, no. He's a much worse bowler than Shadab Khan. But we don't need another bowler. Our bowling attack is great, without Shadab. So a couple of, Yunus Khan, Misbah, Waqar Yunus, Mushtaq Ahmad. They've got a spectacular back room, so they'll be fine. they'll be all right. But like I said, I have not lost hope. It was a miracle performance from England, and I expect Pakistan to make a strong comeback in the second game, and then also in the third game, and win the series. I really do. After seeing this game, I do have confidence in Pakistan now. I am seeing good things, and it's amazing, particularly because it's such a young side. You've got maybe 3 old players, and that's it. You've got Azhar Ali, you've got Asad Shafiq, and you've got maybe Mohammad Abbas. And that's it. These are the only 3 experienced players. You've got actually Yasser Shah as well. And Mohammad Abbas is not that experienced either. He's joined the team not that long ago. So you've got 3 players, Azhar Ali, Asad Shafiq, and Yasser Shah, who are the only experienced players. The rest of them are all new players. So it's looking very good. The future is looking bright. And other news, international news, we have some news about the World Cup, and it was quite interesting. T20 World Cup, which was supposed to be in Australia, is no longer going to be in Australia in 2021. It was postponed to 2021, and it's still going to be in 2021, but it's going to be in India instead. And Australia will host the one in 2022. Now, the reason why I say it was an interesting news was, so the IPL is going to take place in September, right? And India is going to be hosting that outside of India, in UAE. So, if India is not ready to host the IPL, a much smaller tournament, how are they going to host something much, much bigger than the IPL? I get it, 2021 is farther away than September, but that's still a bit weird. If you need time, then 2022 makes a lot more sense than 2021, do you know what I mean? So that's why I thought it was a bit interesting. Like, why? Just let Australia had already prepared for this, right? So Australia is fine. So just let Australia do their thing, and then you can do yours in 2022. Either way, it doesn't make any difference because, like I said, India was going to host it in 2022 anyways. So it doesn't matter if they push it forward or push it back because it's going to take place there anyways, and it's fine if it does. I mean, India is a huge cricketing nation, so it makes sense that you're going to host it there. But it was just that thing where I'm like, well, you're not going to host the IPL at home, but then you want the World Cup. Let me know what you think about that. It was a bit odd to me. Like I said, in the end, it doesn't matter. I just wanted the World Cup. India, whatever, Australia, New Zealand, who cares? But yeah, let me know what you think. I thought it was a bit weird, but that's that. I saw a documentary before the test on it was Michael Atherton was the guy who went to Pakistan. He interviewed Imran Khan and Wasim, what's his name? Wasim something, the CEO of PCB, Wasim whatever, him and Ahsan Mani and some kids in the street as well. And it's a pretty interesting documentary. You should watch it. It was pretty good. And they were talking about that, the fact that England is then going to go in 2022. It's not confirmed yet, but before COVID-19, England said that they will consider going there. And so now they're saying that, yeah, there's no reason for England to not go. So I would love it if England would come over. It would really restore sort of the perception of Pakistan. Do you know what I mean? It would no longer, because if a country like England, a country as big as England, comes over to Pakistan, then I mean, no one else has an excuse then. Do let me know what you thought about the game, and yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, as always, if you enjoyed this video, do drop a like, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, hit that notification bell, and yeah, if you can, go ahead and become a channel member. You don't have to. You know, a lot of people say I can't. Well, that's fine. You don't have to. But if you do, I very much appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who has already become a channel member. And thank you for watching this video. And I hope I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, have a nice